8 new cases of COVID-19 were diagnosed in the 24 hours to 8 p.m. last night, bringing the total number of cases to 3,346. We had a total of 24,467 tests that were notified in the 24-hour reporting period. There's currently 101 COVID cases being treated by New South Wales Health, with one in intensive care. That person is not requiring a ventilator. So the new cases reported many of these have been reported in the press previously, because for public health reasons we've been going out promptly when we had information that's important to inform the public. But just to recap, those cases were 2 in-return travellers in hotel quarantine, a woman in her 20s from northern New South Wales who returned from Victoria, a woman in her 20s from Hunter, New England, who's a partner of a known case, a woman in her 30s from southwestern Sydney who worked at the Thai Rock restaurant in Stockland Mall, Wetherill Park, on the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th and 14th of July, and a man in his 80s who dined at the Crossroads Hotel on the 5th of July, and 2 cases linked to the cluster who did not attend the hotel, a child and a teenager. From 8 p.m. last night to 9 a.m. this morning, an additional 5 cases have been reported, including 3 linked to the hotel cluster, but who did not attend the hotel, 2 men and 1 woman, all in their 20s, and 2 members of the same household, a man in his 40s and a teenager, who are under investigation. So the total number of cases linked to the cluster are 42, and this includes 14 who attended the hotel on the 3rd of July, 1 who attended on the 5th of July, and 27 who are linked to the cluster but did not attend the hotel. So they are contacts arising from it. I'd just like to point out that there's often been 2 to 4 chains of transmission that we've picked up in this period since the 3rd of July. And I think this highlights the rapidity and the speed with which this virus can move through the community. But what is pleasing is that some of these cases have been diagnosed whilst they've been isolating. And this really highlights the importance of the isolation message. So when our public health officials ask you to isolate, there is a reason. It means that many of these cases have not been out and about whilst infectious, and therefore the chain of transmission has effectively been broken. New South Wales Health is tracing a large number of people even currently associated with these cases. There are 5 recent cases that report spending some time in the Stockland Mall at Wetherill Park while infectious. So we're urging anyone who was at the mall in the last 2 weeks to be particularly vigilant for symptoms, and especially those who attended the Thai Rock restaurant on the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th or 14th of July, to watch carefully for symptoms, and if they occur, isolate and immediately come forward for testing. It is imperative that people, whilst we've got a strong focus on the Crossroads cluster and the activities in southwestern Sydney, it's important that we are not complacent about the risk existing in other parts of the state. It is imperative that anyone across the state comes forward for testing if they have the symptoms, however mild. And in relation to many of these venues in southwestern Sydney, we're urging people to come forward even if they don't have symptoms for testing, if they've been at the specific sites we've identified. And the reason for that is that in talking to the younger people, we notice that their symptoms are often very mild and they don't perceive them. There might be a mild headache or mild fatigue, a slight fever, but for them, they're not recognising all them as symptoms. So that's the reason in those settings where we are trying to detect any possible cases and do that public health contact tracing around them, we are urging the community to come forward. The testing sites in southwestern Sydney will remain open. So thank you very much to the community for coming out in such high numbers. And can I extend my gratitude to you, but urge you to continue to represent. So anyone who has symptoms, please present, and anyone who's been at those venues we've identified, please present. Thank you.